What is happening, YouTube? It's been ages that I uploaded a video because nothing too crazy going on in the NBA trade rumors. I know there's some exhibition games with Anthony Edwards, Austin Reeves, Team USA. Some reason I failed to manage to watch that. It's baseball season, and then football preseason is starting. Chargers looking good in the preseason, but going back on topic. Finally, a semi-decently big basketball news just arrived, and it is 213. Kawhi and Paul George was in contact with James Harden. Um, so the article starts off as James Harden attempts to facilitate a trade from the 76ers to the Clippers. Star Guard has been in contact with both Kawhi and PG. So looks like Harden to the Clippers. It's it's slowly starting to happen. Like the Sixers, man, it's just a matter of time when they would give up James Harden, because James Harden, his contract is expiring. Um, Plus it is his birthday today, I believe. He turned 34, and the Clippers, they have a decent amount of trade offers to actually fulfill the 76ers. But the only thing that's stopping the trade is the Sixers are being a little bit too delusional. They think they're trying to get Terrence Mann, they're trying to get Bones Highland, they're trying to get Brandon Boston, they're trying to get a bunch of unprotected first round picks. Like, even if it's for MVP Harden, I would not like to trade youth or many unprotected first round picks to just because that would result in the Clippers being pretty much bankrupt, and then that would be a short sighted move. But especially to consider that he's 34 years old, and pretty much honestly, when a guy's like 34 years old, to be honest, he only got like 2 or 3 good years in him usually, because unless if you have a durability strength like LeBron James or Tom Brady, most of the guys they usually like exit the NBA like 35 or 38 if they're really lucky. But so Philadelphia is definitely being pretty unrealistic. Um, but again, Norman Powell. Norman Powell is a quality six man. So honestly, Norman Powell alone should definitely move the needle, in my opinion. And uh, but one thing that has to happen: if the Clippers go for James Harden, you must include Marcus Morris. I don't care. Include Marcus Morris in the trade package, because man, it's time to get him off the team, or just don't play him, because Morris, he hasn't done anything good whatsoever this season. He had some like occasional like 5 to 10 decent games, I guess, but the 72 other games, Marcus Morris has been atrocious. Defense, shooting, even rebounding has been atrocious, and definitely got to include him in a trade package. But again, the max I would trade to upgrade the roster is Norman Powell, and obviously definitely get Marcus Morris off the team, and a heavily protected first round pick. That's pretty much it. What the Clippers should trade for James Harden, and also you could include some other like players like Jason Preston or Amir Coffey, but those are the only youth that I'm actually okay with trading. Um, I guess Jordan Miller too, I guess, but he's on a two-way. But I don't think the Sixers are too moved with Jason Preston. Hasn't really done anything that many teams are actually, you know, like they noticed. But Coffee, he had some decently good games. So Coffee could maybe be the sweetener of the trade package. Definitely do not include Terrence Mann, obviously, because everybody knows that. Because Terrence Mann, he's a really good glue guy. Some will even say he definitely has a lot of star potential. I could see that. Maybe not superstar potential, but he's definitely a keeper for sure, because you need a guy who can rebound and play defense. Um, But Brandon Boston Jr., that guy, his ceiling is higher than a lot of people think. I would definitely not trade him for James Harden if or any trade deal. If Brandon gets included in any trade deals, then my blood pressure would just only keep rising. So again, that's the max that I'm willing to trade for Harden. Um, let's see, Norman Powell, because Norman Powell, he's good, but if you trade him for like a huge upgrade or a good amount of draft capital, it's not going to really hurt the team in the long term because it just clear up room for guys who needs minutes like Brandon Boston. Um, and if you trade Morris, that's a plus. Just if you don't play Morris or trade Morris, waive Morris, that's a plus. Um, a heavily protected first round pick, like top 10 protected first round pick, if you really, really, really are willing to spend, a top 8 protected first round pick could sit okay with me. Um, because it gives the Clippers like leverage of, hey, like if they're really that bad, just tank, just get the pick in. Um, and then, but if the trade goes out, the Clippers are doing good and they get their rings. The other team, for example, the Sixers, they could still get like a late first round pick. So could be like a win-win situation for both sides. Um, but anyways, let me play this video of like a of like just two people talking about it, reporting the news. I know like the page is lagging, so I sincerely apologize for this, but I really don't like it when this would lag. Okay, perfect.
Do you understand or agree with the interest in James Harden? What I've heard is that, hey, James has been in conversation with Paul and Kawhi, and they're all kind of on the same page.
James Harden is the ideal roster complement for this team in ways that go beyond James. This team has way too many rotation guys. They have too many of the same kind of power forward. Acquiring James Harden would require consolidating in some ways some of the players that
Hmm. Good. Hmm.
well, it turns out when you got the wrong guys, wrong fits, and you literally can't play, your third stringers that you're paying $10+ million to, that's a problem.
All right. So I'll pretty much just let the video to play out, and I'm gonna give my opinions like right now. So just start off of saying the news of Kawhi and Paul George meeting James Harden, and the guy with the glasses brought up a really interesting point that the Clippers they're like too deep, and then sometimes like you can't play third stringer, which is I assume it's Robert Covington, but personally, I don't think the Clippers are quote unquote too deep. Um, in theory, I guess you can say they are quote unquote deep, but the thing is, Tyronn Lue doesn't know how to use the team. Tyronn Lue, his rotations has been god awful this year. Even when he first took the coaching job, the first year he was inconsistent. But at least he had some decently okay rotations, I guess. Um, and then when the Clippers acquired Marcus Morris, which is I know it was Doc Rivers, but um, I guess like him playing Marcus Morris for the first 2 years, okay, that's defendable because Morris actually had some productive games. But this year, Ty Lue was god awful. But again, even the first year, because Tyronn Lue, he would play Terrence Mann in the regular season a little bit, but during the playoffs, he waited till like game 4 that he actually plugged in Terrence Mann. So I don't know. If anything, the Clippers need to give Ty Lue like a pinpoint objective on what type of adjustments he needs to do. The obvious, you got to give Covington the minutes. That's what everybody is saying, and that is completely facts. Um, and then another thing is what I just basically ramble about. because that's my main like objective in my opinion. And you got to plug in the youth with the lineup, man. Doesn't have to be every game. Sometimes like um, like if everybody's doing good, I guess you could just play your main guys. But unfortunately for the Clippers, a lot of our guys are pretty inconsistent. Like even Norman Powell occasionally in the beginning. Um, and Marcus Morris, good gracious, he should not be starting. Should have been Robert Covington, like starting from the start. Or if Tyler wants to experiment, he should have experimented in a right way. Um, maybe give Diabate the starting power forward. Because, man, like a Zubac and Diabate front court, that would be amazing on defense. Or give Diabate the backup center spot, man. Because, bro, when the Clippers did not have a center, Tyronn Lue really decided to play like a ridiculous four guard lineup and Marcus Morris at the center over giving Diabate the chance to play the backup spot. Um, he did play some Moses Brown, I will say that, but should have been Diabate. Diabate, he's perfect in the modern NBA if you need a guy who can play defense. And Tyronn Lue, he failed to do that. And that definitely angered me a good amount. Um, and not to forget, he underutilized Terrence Mann a good amount of times. If you if you do not want to start Robert Covington, there is another option. Ty Lue could have easily experimented with a lineup of Russell Westbrook and Terrence Mann, and then Kawhi Leonard, the power forward, Paul George at small forward, and then Zubac at the center. Like that would have still been a really good defensive team. We would have still got a lot of second chance possessions, but Marcus Morris, he's like, um, think of like a sinking ship. And then of course there'll be like scratches or holes. Marcus Morris is like, at least for this year. I'm not trying to bash Marcus Morris, but I hate to say this, but he's like that hole that kind of sinks the ship. You know what I'm saying? And then the water always flows in. Like Ty Lue got to learn how to like set him up, man. Like I guess like maybe if you don't want to completely bench him, like just play him extremely limited minutes, like 10 minutes, I guess. But I just prefer not to play Marcus Morris at the moment because, bro, dude barely does anything really, really good for the team. Um, and then of course you already know Brandon Boston. He's extremely underutilized. Um, I know like for the Brandon Boston situation, it's a little bit harder to um, play in minutes, but again, there were many opportunities that Ty Lue could have plugged them in. Like, doesn't even have to be like 30 minutes. Like every like 5 games, Brandon Boston should get 20 minutes. Like, kind of like think of it like baseball, because in baseball, there's always a different pitcher every single game. So maybe in basketball, Ty Lue could have just made just one day decide to sit out Norman Powell and have Brandon Boston play the backup shooting guard. Just switch it up sometimes. Because it definitely makes the Clippers more unpredictable for other teams to devise a plan on how to play defense against us. Because Brandon Boston, he's sneaky. He definitely gonna be good. But I guess I'll give Ty Lue like very small props. I guess he actually did like decent with utilizing Bones Highland. At least he would like play 20 minutes or 30 minutes. But even in the beginning, he kind of didn't. But at least later on, he gave him some minutes. So that's what I'll give props to Ty Lue. So, but other than that, Ty Lue has been pretty bad as a head coach, in my opinion. But man, Ty Lue, just hopefully he changes next season. Personally, I felt like the Clippers should have tried to gauge Tyronn Lue's trade value because who knows, Clippers could have got extra draft capital and hey, they get a new coach who plays who's actually willing to utilize the roster properly. I guess a Nick Nurse could have been a decent option. Um, or just anyone really, like just like some dark horse coach like for example, the Utah Jazz coach, because man, Jazz coach has been amazing, but I don't know. Like, I think this is Ty Lue's last year of his contract, so who knows? We'll see what Ty Lue actually does. If he like maybe like changes the rotation, like maybe like bench Marcus Morris and start Robert Covington as our power forward, and maybe like give the youth minutes, maybe even give Kobe Brown minutes like as the power forward, or KJ Martin. Like if I see like those guys play more minutes, who knows? Maybe I would change my stance on Ty Lue, but if Ty Lue just continues like how he does this year and play all the old people, and then you see guys like Brandon Boston, KJ Martin, Bones Island, Terrence Mann, Diabate, if I see them get gazillions DNP, um, I would lose my head, and I would definitely keep calling Ty Lue to get fired because this is his last year of the contract, and a lot of people they trying to make fun of the Clippers of saying, "Hey, Ty Lue's gonna leave," but if he leaves, go ahead, bye bye. But I'm getting very off topic right now, but that's just my personal opinion of what the person said. But geez, it's actually a long time, like a long rant what I did about Ty Lue. But another point that he brought up, which was actually a pretty good point. James Harden would benefit the Clippers tremendously, and now some people would definitely get confused on that because James Harden and Russell Westbrook, they're both pretty ball dominant. But the thing is, like they had 1 year with the Houston Rockets, and they had all the years back with the Oklahoma City Thunders. Um, Considering that Marcus Morris gets off the team, Norman Powell, gets flipped for James Harden. Um, the James Harden, Russell Westbrook, that court would actually be extremely beneficial, and the Clippers' offense would tremendously improve. Um, as for the defense, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George could definitely cover for the defense. Zubac as well. Even Russell Westbrook, when he needs to play defense, he plays defense. James Harden, I know he's not. He's definitely known to be a traffic cone on defense, and you know he is at times. But again, you already got another traffic cone in Marcus Morris starting. So I guess if you replace Marcus Morris with James Harden, at least you would get way more offense. And there is a little stat sheet that I saw on Instagram or something like that, or like a friend sent it to me. James Harden and Russell Westbrook, I believe they're like the highest scoring duo in history. Like they even surpassed like Kobe and Shaq. Although Kobe and Shaq did play in an era that was a lot slower, but still, like they were like the highest scoring duo in history. So that would definitely boost the Clippers a good amount. So that could definitely be like another pros. So either way, I would definitely welcome James Harden going to the Clippers. But as long as you don't trade any of the important youth or the core or a huge chunk of our first round picks, I would totally welcome it. But again, this is definitely promising news. This is definitely promising news for the Clippers that Kawhi and Paul George are trying to recruit James Harden. So I know this page keeps reloading a lot, but I mean it's not really too important. I'm just using this as a background, but um, it's good that Kawhi and PG they're recruiting James Harden because like now James Harden might devise a plan to go to the Clippers in a more like a team friendly offer for the Clippers rather than Daryl Morey being like very delusional and all that, and then he actually gets the upper hand over the Clippers. So that's what I think that the meeting might be about, but we'll see what happens. And if I got to give a prediction on when James Harden's going to get traded to the Clippers, I would say something like mid-September, like probably like September 18th or like maybe in the 20s. That's just my prediction. Let me know when you guys think that James Harden's going to be a Los Angeles Clipper. You think he's going to be a Clipper around like September? Or is it going to happen really soon? Or it's going to happen like more in October? Or is it going to happen during the middle of the season? I want to hear your guys' opinion. When do you think the Clippers are going to trade for James Harden? But anyways, enough me rambling. Um, have a good day and go Clippers and peace.